Welcome RSL fans, my name is FIFA Zealot and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about Petke versus Cassar, and obviously we don't want to be drawing parallels and things like that. It's way too early for that. But I was listening to the RSL Show. Shout out to them, great guys. And I really enjoy their podcasts. It's cool that they're doing two, a preview and a post game. So that's nice. And there will be a link in the descriptions down below. Anyway. So yeah, I was listening to their podcast after the FC Dallas game. And one of the things they talked about was they were talking about Petke's post-game interview. And they were saying basically how he was really emotional and it was a really good interview, and I never watched those things. After the game, especially when we lose 3-0, you know what I'm saying? But the way they talked about it, I thought, okay, I'll go over and I'll watch it. And I was taken aback. I'm not gonna lie. The amount of emotion. I mean, I know he's a straightforward guy. Tells it like it is. It's one of the things I enjoy about him. But just his. I mean, at one point you could see he visibly got emotional. He was genuinely angry and frustrated, and he told us in the interview. But it was awesome. It was kind of refreshing and interesting. And so I listened to the whole thing. I heard some things that I was really impressed about and thought, oh, that's cool. And we'll go over those. And then I started thinking back to when I would listen to Cassar's post-game stuff. So I went through and looked through a bunch of his different post-game reactions. And kind of compared. And again, this is not a comparison of the coach, versus coach, but just kind of their how they react, how they take games, and how they talk about the game after the fact. So like I said, we'll go through each one, and I've just basically picked two different interviews. Obviously, FC Dallas one for Petke, and the Chicago game for Cassar, and then I have a little surprise for you at the end. So let's go ahead and get into Petke's.
Do you essentially need to stick with the game plan when you go down 1-0 3 minutes in, or does that kind of force you to maybe be a little more aggressive than maybe the game plan dictated?
Well, we had 87 minutes left, so it wasn't time to change the game plan or anything. But to be quite honest with you, the game plan that wasn't working from even before the penalty kick. You could just see, you could just sense. So I didn't prepare him well enough this week.
Can you maybe elaborate on what wasn't working that you felt specifically?
Well, you watched the game, I assume. How was the energy and work rate in the first half? What's your opinion, honestly? Our energy and work rate.
A little slow.
Okay. I didn't prepare him well enough. I should have amped up practice more this week. I should have been more clear with certain things. And that's what it comes down to. And I'm not taking one for the team. That's the way I look at it. The things that we talked about were done in slow movements and slow transition. It comes down on me.
So one of the first things they ask is, we go down first 3 minutes of the game. Do you change anything? And he's like, no. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You don't. And especially with a PK, on a questionable call in the 3rd minute, you don't just take your plan and just throw it out the window. But the fact that he recognized that this might not be working, and you know what I'm saying, and could realize it in the beginning and then see that it wasn't working, was refreshing. I know he did change things throughout the match to try to get something to work, but just he couldn't get anything. So that was cool. And then the fact that he's, when they want him to elaborate, on what wasn't working, and he's like, well, what do you think? Like, how do you think we did in the first half? You know what I'm saying? Putting them on the spot. It was just funny because you could tell, like, I mean, at one, he's obviously asking the question with the mic, and then he's like, honestly, give me your opinion, and he gives his opinion. They were slow, but he's not using he's not using the mic. He doesn't want his opinion voiced over the whole interview. So it was just kind of funny. It's refreshing. Like I said, he's like, okay, well, what do you think? I mean, honestly, what do you think? How he did? So pretty hilarious.
It seemed a lot of your shots, especially in the first half, were maybe from distance. Was that a concerted effort to maybe try and pull them out a little bit and open them up, or was that just sort of the players taking that upon themselves, maybe seeing some things out there?
We didn't do enough shooting practice this week, and that's why we weren't on target. I know it sounds funny. That's the way I look at it. I don't know what else to say, you know? I mean, the last 3 games, I didn't even look at the stats right now. I've become a big stats guy in the last 3 games because we've lost the 3 games, and I'm immediately looking at the stats. And we've outshot opponents, we've out-possessed here and there, and we don't win.
And then they go on and talk about, hey, we took a lot of shots from outside the box. Was that part of the game plan or not, kind of a thing. And I mean, his first answer, I think, is kind of flippant. He's like, well, we didn't practice enough shooting, I guess. But the fact that he starts talking about statistics, and I get, like, statistics they're not the be-all, end-all. And anyone can take the same set of statistics and interpret things a little bit differently or even in completely different ways. But it's funny that he noticed we outpossessed, we outshot, but we didn't put more shots on target. We didn't get them in the within the net, and forcing the keeper to save, which I'm constantly talking about. So it's nice that he's actually looking at numbers and statistics and coming to conclusions, or they're helping him come to conclusions from what he's looking and seeing during the game and the numbers. He's using them both to kind of get a better picture of, these are problems. But anyway, like I said, the thing that I liked most about that was the fact that he's talking about statistics and how we're playing and utilizing them, and that makes me hopeful that he'll be able to come up with some changes.
In order to improve the final ball, to open up more clear, concise shots on goal, what needs to be done going forward?
Well, I think in transition, it has to be quicker. Now that I'm clear in my head here, I think our transition was extremely slow. And I think, again, to go back to practice this week, we worked a lot in the beginning of the week about runs behind their center backs, because when we watched Dallas play the last couple of games, their center backs are very good, but very aggressive, and they get dragged out. And if we could play penetrating balls to laid back and for Euro to spin in and get behind them, but it was way too slow tonight. In practice this week, it was good. But I go back to, it falls on me because perhaps I didn't talk enough about the energy of the game and starting off strongly and taking it to them and we're at home and rah crap. Perhaps I didn't do that enough.
The next portion that he starts talking about also is, how can we get better shots on goal? Because we're shooting so many things wide. And it's nice, it was refreshing to hear him actually give a good example of what they were trying to do and wanted to do in the FC Dallas game. He talks about how their center backs usually are very aggressive. They end up going, moving up too high up, and how, he wanted Yura, especially, to get in behind and to, and to get them in trouble, their center backs in trouble, by pressing, higher up, and trying to get in behind. And I think back to Cassar, where, he was always talking about, confidence, or, we just, you just gotta get that one, and they're just gonna pour out after that, or, it takes a lot of confidence to score, and, they might not. We just gotta, work on that, and you're thinking, like, no, I mean, yeah, a goal scorer has to be confident. You gotta be confident with taking those shots, right? Because it's a team game, but the scorer is the one who's gonna actually take that risk, take that shot, and try to score. So don't get me wrong, you do need confidence, but there's so much more to it, and the fact that he's alluding to or discussing kind of what they were wanting to do with FC Dallas was very refreshing.
This is probably the worst time to ask this question.
Please.
But have you entertained the idea of changing formation looks going forward?
We don't have a formation right now. I literally continued the formation that was in place.
You just throw 10 guys on the field. And
I was literally continuing the formation that was before me and which I've played before. That's not my preferred formation.
They're like, hey, well, what about formations? Will that change? And he at this point he's like, look, I have the players I have. We're playing the formation that we had before because what else are we gonna do? But anyway, I really enjoyed it. I love how passionate he was, and then you have not necessarily the flip side, but it's a different way of how they went about it. His post game interviews are I think much more insightful than Cassar's were. After watching this one, and then I've watched all of his post games. I've watched all of his post game interviews, and I haven't watched obviously all of Cassar's, but I've watched quite a few. And what I'm saying, just kind of my impressions and what I remember from Cassar versus what I'm seeing with Petke is kind of exciting. So then you have Cassar, who after losing to Chicago, I think it was it's our first game. It's unfortunate, and he has no reason to be upset and angry. He hasn't lost 3 in a row, but it's just interesting to see the different ways of answering questions and things like that. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that.
Frustrating start to this one. Those 2 goals early on. Something you'd like to tweak there, or is that just the bad breaks and that's the way it goes?
Listen, I thought we started off the game fantastic, doing the things that we wanted to do, and the first goal's a broken play where Sonny nicks the ball away from the attacker, and we stopped. We took a half-second break and thought it was offsides. They played on and punished us. The second goal, we had the player that we want in that position out wide. We know that he loves to cut in on his left, and we allowed him to do that. Both the scouting report was crystal clear, and we just didn't execute on that play, and we paid the price. But the fight, the commitment from the guys was, I thought, first class. You could sometimes, fold up shop there, but we buckled down. Really, I thought became the aggressors. We knew they were going to have a few opportunities on the counter, but I think our guys showed a lot of character the rest of the way.
So you have Cassar, and they're asking him roughly the same question. We go down early. What could we have changed? What could have been different? And again, the Chicago game is different than the Dallas game. There weren't PKs. It was an unfortunate toe pick. It was an unfortunate toe poke by Sonny. But what I'm saying, you look at it and you're thinking, okay, you just described what happened. We all were there. We all saw it. We all know. So, what are you making an excuse? Are you saying, these things happen? He talked about his scouting report, basically outlining what they were going to do for the second goal, but we let him do it anyway. And then he goes back to talking about heart. I think they had a lot of commitment. A lot of people could put their heads down, but we had a lot of heart and commitment and sacrifice, which is, like I said, when all you're ever talking about is confidence and commitment and sacrifice and heart, it kind of leads you to wonder and to worry.
Yeah, Jeff, same storyline. Great possession. Boston around the midfield, good, strong challenges. What are you seeing in the final third? I mean, we're seeing glimpses, but the chances just aren't there.
Yeah, I mean, you got to put them away.
Yeah.
When you get those opportunities, you have to put them away. And then when you do put one away, they open up and you get more. Yeah. That's the way soccer is. And, we have to put the opportunities, whether it's 1 or 6 or whatever, we have to put away an opportunity to unlock the game.
So they ask him a similar question, Cassar. We had a lot of possession. We were bossed around the midfield. How do we get better looks? How do we score? How do we get the ball in the back of the net, type of a thing? And he just went back to his age-old answer. All it takes is one. Once you get one goal, all the goal, everything starts going your way. That more start coming. You got to finish your chances, but that's it. And so again, like I said, I'm not trying to do a disservice of Cassar. I think Cassar did the best he could. I just wanted to kind of point out the differences between the coaching mentality, the differences between what they see and what they say after after the game for the post game interviews. So if you get a chance, like I said, watch Petke's interviews, watch Cassar's if you want. It's just an interesting contrast that I thought you guys would enjoy. It's an interesting contrast to me of the coaches, and it really makes me excited that we have Petke, that after 3 losses he is so upset and so angry that he has a hard time actually hearing and answering their questions because he's so upset. And so, like I said, the fact that we have that much passion in our coach is a very hopeful thing. So we're going to go ahead and give you an example of the 2 coaches. In my mind, the epitome of both coaches. I'm going to give you the portion of Petke's interview where he gets upset and emotional. And I'm going to give you, in my opinion, the epitome of Cassar's coaching mentality and his post-game interview skills. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoy. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. This is an RSL YouTube channel. It's all about RSL. So let me know if there's any videos you want to see. Leave them in the comments down below. This has been FIFA Zealot. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.
Seemed like Portland was really content with allowing you to have the ball out wide and allowing a lot of service. What went wrong where you weren't able to get the ball in the back end of the net?
Well, I thought we got ourselves in good positions, but a lot of times we were lacking the quality of the service. We had good numbers in the box for most of the night. Building confidence. We've had some tough results. Everybody's confidence is just a hair off. So we're gonna, as a staff, try to build their confidence and continue to keep working.
Guys, listen, these are very good questions. I'm being very honest with you. I'm about to put something on myself. I'm very frustrated right now. I'm very angry right now. I'm very disgusted right now. And I'm trying to figure out a way without being cliched, to take it on myself. Okay? Because at the end of the day, I'm the coach. It has to fall on me. Okay? I'm thinking about the last 5 weeks, that the transition from a coach that's been here for a while and a way that they've been, and certain characteristics and culture and this and that has been. And I keep saying that I'm doing step. Perhaps I'm doing too much. Perhaps I'm putting too much on them, to be honest with you. So I don't know how to answer your questions right now. I guess that's my point in the frame of mind I'm in.